Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunattu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti. We have been studying the topic about knowledge, always a difficult topic, but important for us to know because we are on the knowledge path. This is a life today of knowledge. It is a life of information explosion and whatnot and the other. And we are spending a lot of our time collecting knowledge. So very important for us to understand what is knowledge. Oh, could you please excuse me for a second? So we were on the topic light of wisdom. Very aptly named because it is wisdom that gives us the light of life. And it is, that example we had of the room. It was dark. When you walk in the room, it hurts. You bang into things. And we blame those things. We say, that is hurting me. This is hurting me. And what is the whole point of it? What happens because of it is that you're right. It is the table that hurt you. You're right. It is the chair that hurt you. You're right. It is the wall that hurt you. That's not wrong. That's correct. And yet it is wrong. If somebody's treating you badly, it is hurting. Somebody you're being very loving to is not being loving back. It is hurting. You lose somebody dear to you. It is hurting. Finances have plummeted downwards. It is hurting. Health is going. It is hurting. And you're saying these things are hurting me. And it's correct. Of course, these things are hurting you. There is no denying that. And yet somehow that's not really true. Or it is true in a very, what do you say? I mean, it's true and it's not true at the same time. So when we understand philosophy, we must understand it correctly. We must understand that what is happening is we must understand. That is what the study of philosophy is about. So you understand the helplessness of people who are trying to explain to us and our own helplessness in trying to understand what is being said. Both ways there is an issue. Are you clear about this? Is it making sense? Yes, it is true that all those problems in life are there. Yes, it is true that all those things are hurting us. And yet the reason it is hurting us is because, who will say?
We are attached to them.
Christy, you're not listening.
We are not trying
Because
to understand
Ignorance.
their point of view, and maybe they are unable to explain. At the same time, we are unable to understand the other point of view also.
Ignorance.
Lack of knowledge, ignorance, lack of knowledge.
correct, Marsh, correct. At the end of the day, the only reason things are hurting us is because of ignorance. Nothing else. This is very difficult to swallow. Very difficult. That's why we're beginning the class with this. It's a good thing for us to understand that the only reason that all these issues are taking place in life is because of ignorance. There is nothing else. There is absolutely nothing else. Now, when we say there is nothing else, um, I hope you understand that. It is not in denial of the fact. Suppose some lady's husband is beating her up, okay? He's drinking alcohol and he's beating her up. So you don't turn to her and say that you are suffering because he is because of your own ignorance. She has to attend to this problem. Nobody's allowed to beat us up. Nobody's allowed to be rude to us. Nobody's allowed to do all this stuff to us. But we have to deal with it. Okay, so what happens, excuse me, in religious studies or in philosophy is that we try to say, oh, all this is because of me, so I will not attend to the problem. No, attending to the problem is part of the issue. Attending to the problem is part of what we need to do. That's part of being ignorant, that you don't know how to deal with this thing. If we were perfectly objective people, what is the difficulty? What's the difficulty in coming to the conclusion? If there was light in the room and you can see that the chair is in the wrong position, you can just put it back in the right position, right? You don't have to say, oh, there's light in the room, therefore the furniture can be anywhere it likes. No, of course not. When you have light in the room, you don't bump into the furniture and you make sure the furniture is placed nicely. Is your room, is just because you have light in the room doesn't mean all the furniture is thrown wherever it is, however it is. So it is important that we understand this concept correctly. A lot of people have made a mess out of that life of their life by saying, yes, it's all my fault or it's all your fault, something like that. I don't know if I'm dwelling on this too much or whether it is clear, because I can't even see your faces. So I don't know whether it is an extra explanation or it's too little an explanation. So please let me know, is this point clear? Everybody who finds this point absolutely clear, please give me a thumbs up so that I know that you all are all clear with it. Okay. I'm not seeing any thumbs up. Not clear? Okay, Akhila. Yeah, okay, thank you. Nobody's giving me a thumbs up. Bharat, Arun, okay. Clear. Okay, fine. Okay. All right. I'm assuming everybody else is also clear. If anybody is not clear, please stop me, because this is very important. It's the base of it. If we get this wrong, we will get our whole sadhana wrong. We will behave like, like Arjuna started saying, it's okay now, they're my cousins, let them take the kingdom, I cannot fight them, we'll start all this nonsense in life. No, nobody is allowed to treat us badly. Okay? That's part of it. Okay, Ashia, it's clear, but would like to hear more if possible. Ashia, can you ask a question and then I would know which portion of it you'd like to hear more about?
Um, any more examples, Janki or some elaboration?
Okay, so example number 1 is a wife who is being beaten up by her husband. So it would be cruel to tell her that it's all your fault. Okay, when you tell her it's all your fault, or you must learn to put up with it, or you must be patient with it, this is cruelty. It's really cruelty towards that person. We have to, knowledge will tell anybody that this is unacceptable behavior. Nobody can treat me this way. This is compared to a dark room where when you switch on the light, not only will you walk properly in that room, you will not bump into anything, you will also ensure that the furniture in the room is kept properly. You can do that too, right? When you keep the room properly, there's a pleasure in it. If your finances are fine, there's a pleasure in it. If your relationships are fine, there's a pleasure in it. If your health is fine, you will feel happy. So if you're doing this correctly, there should be a sense of comfort in life. Not while you're studying, but in life itself. That is why they say don't go chasing things in the hope of happiness, because happiness is here and now. Are we not comfortable? Are we not happy at any given point in life? We are not going to wait for something to happen to be happy. And that happens when the light is on. So even if a chair is placed incorrectly in that room and the light is on, you will still not bump into it. And you will know that the chair is placed incorrectly and you can put it in the right place too. So light doesn't mean that you put on the light means you are so peaceful, you're so calm within. आओ बैल मुझे मार, मैं ही एक मिली हूँ सबको मारने के लिए. That's not what it means. What it means is you will handle your life, you will handle everybody else also. In the quality of the bhakta, it says, he who does not agitate anybody and by whom, and nobody can agitate him. Your presence will make everybody come out right, not just you, because you have the light. And when that light shines, everybody benefits by that light. That is why we were a country of stalwarts, not one or two stalwarts, country of stalwarts. That's what we are trying to aim at. That's what we have to work towards. But the first step in that is we become stalwarts. Otherwise, you get very excited about getting other people becoming stalwarts. Hello, what about us? So I can only repeat what my father used to say. Make yourself an honest man. And you can be assured that there is one less scoundrel in this world. Make yourself an honest man. First, let's sort ourselves out. And once we're as we're sorting ourselves out and the light grows within us, everybody else will also get sorted. Don't worry about it. We will sort out anybody, okay? We have the strength to sort out anybody who's acting tough with us. We'll deal with them.
Janki ji, can I just, share some personal experience in this? At times, you are in a delirious state, or you've not noticed. There is quite a lot of light also, and you might just bang into objects, or some mishap occurs. How do we explain? Sometimes there's just a blinding light. Your, sight gets just, how do I put it? It's like, your windshield gets all misty or foggy. At times it happens like that. So that, what is that? Do we also put that under ignorance, or?
Yes, unfortunately, everything comes under ignorance.
Oh, so that is also a state of ignorance. Okay.
Yeah, because none of us is 100% knowledge or 100% ignorance, right? So this thing goes up and down, and sometimes the electricity goes off, as it were, So sometimes goes on, goes off.
Yeah.
You have to ensure that the light keeps on. So why does the light go off? Is because suddenly a very strong desire gets triggered. In the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, he says, the sense objects are the buds. Very, very interesting construct that is. He says in the tree, I mean, many of you may be familiar that in the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, he gives it as a tree, okay? Shows the world, compares the world to an upside down tree.
The Urdhva Moola.
Urdhva Moola Madhashakam. So up is the root and below is the tree. And then he says he compares the sense object. It's such beautiful comparison, but pertinent to our point here is the sense objects are the buds of that tree. Okay, so when the sense objects are there, then our desires start flowing out. Okay, so suppose you love chocolate, but at the moment you don't have a chocolate in front of you, so you don't know that there's a desire for a chocolate. But let the chocolate come in front of you, then the desire will come popping out. And that's what you're calling blinding. You suddenly sort of lose it. There is anger or frustration within us, and then somebody says or does something, and then that anger and frustration comes popping out. So that's what you mean by it. It's almost like, what happened to me? How did I lose my head suddenly like this? Because this sense object came, means some object, some person, some circumstance, something happened, and then whatever was inside came out. So we have to know that it's a good thing, because then we know that is inside, and we have to watch out for that. Oh, this trigger has come. So I better be careful now, because I know I have a weakness. So I have to now be very careful over here. I keep out until I know how to deal with this.
How to deal with it, okay. Thank you so much.
Hari Om Janki ji, Ganesh here.
I just have... Ganesh, just a second. Ashia, are you okay? Do you want more examples?
Janki ji, it's very good.
I can't hear you, Ashia.
Yeah, Janki ji, fine. Thank you.
Ganesh, yes, go ahead.
Yes, sir. So the follow-up question, so unforeseen circumstances that happen, like say a loss of job, or maybe there is a bank and that bank goes bust and you lose your savings. Even that is ignorance. You can't say that aisa kyun hua mere saath.
No, yes and no. When we are talking about ignorance, remember what are we saying is the cause and effect relationship? The cause of any pain, of any discomfort, of any agitation, okay, ignorance is the cause. It is the single cause. There is no other cause. Okay, so now my bank has gone bust. I have lost all my savings. If I'm in any discomfort because of it, then this is caused by my ignorance. Okay. Then there's a second aspect to it. Okay, one thing is like the light is off, so I'm bumping into things. This is clear. So, I lost my money, and so obviously this is hurting me. Okay, light is off. When the light is on, I can see that the chair is in the wrong position. So A, I will not bump into it. 2, I will straighten it. There's no question of my bumping into it, because I'm straightening it also. So in this case, in your case, where there is, okay, the bank went bust. Okay, and I lost all my savings. Now I'm in pain and discomfort because I lost my savings. I'm like so insecure. Everything is gone. It's my ignorance that has caused this, because it is ignorance that says, I will die without money. That is what is causing this problem. Okay, but there's a second aspect of ignorance, which is ignorance of the laws of this world. Ignorance of knowing that this world is non-stable. Okay, so there are two types of ignorance. Ignorance of the self, which is the light itself, and ignorance of the laws of the world. So here, if I have put all my eggs into one basket in any way or manner, I have led myself to trouble because I know fully well that this world is unstable. I know it now, right? So, knowing that the world is unstable, I function like that. I understand that some things I can't do this. If I'm investing in something, I can't put everything in one place. I know, and doctor, I told you, how he put all his investments into a business, that too. His whole lifetime saving into a business, thinking he'll get this return and that return. Wiped out, wiped out. Because when you're putting it into something risky, at least you have to know you can't do the whole thing. When you're putting your money into a bank as an FD and you think this is a very safe thing, you have to go and find out, where did you get this notion that it's a very safe thing? Are you not aware the simple fact that if your bank does fail, for all your FDs, you get only 1 lakh? Are you not aware? Is it not your job to know this? You went ahead and took action without due diligence. People get married without due diligence. Married. That means you went and put your entire life into somebody else's hand without figuring out whether this is a person who's worthy of this gift. I'm giving my life into somebody's hands. If I'm married to somebody, basically I'm tying myself up with that person for better or for worse, in sickness and in health. Have I gone mad that I haven't thought before I did this? I mean, this is insanity or not? I know money is important to me, and I have gone and put it all in one place, and I've not even taken the basic care to understand what I am doing. Do I understand what I'm doing before I do it? No. सब ठीक होगा, भगवान देख लेंगे. अच्छा, okay, fine, you're welcome to think like that, but then don't cry when the results come. Because you said Bhagwan dekh lenge, you lost all your money. Hold that thought. Now don't give up the thought. Now don't suddenly say, no, he's not looking after me. No, of course he's looking after you in his way. You left it to him, right? Then leave it to him. If you are saying, I'm going to leave it to him, then leave it to him. But no, it is all a matter of convenience. When I want, I leave it to him. When I don't want, I take it back to myself. पागलपंती है कि क्या? Frustrating it must be. Poor God must be saying, ये सब पागल लोग हैं, इनके साथ मेरा क्यों पाला पड़ा? So is that clear, Ganesh?
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was
It's okay. And Ashia, is that helpful? Because I think it's around the same things. 2 things in the money going. 1, am I disturbed by it? It shows I'm ignorant. 2, how did I let my money go? It shows I'm ignorant. So that's the example where there's no light in the room. So you bump into things, but those things may be wrong in the first place. Why are they there? So when the light is in the room, A, you don't bump into it no matter where it is. And number 2, you're able to put it back in its right place. Is that clear, Ashia?
Yes, Janki ji. Thank you.
Okay, so are we good in this? So please understand this carefully, this idea, because otherwise we go around saying, oh, it's all my fault, and then create more trouble for ourselves. So understand carefully, how is it my fault? We are too easy to believe, we're too easy to, sort of say, oh God, Gita is saying it's all my fault, so it must be my fault. Chalo, khud ko maro. Pagal hai kya? Why will Gita, if you are studying Gita, if you are studying Vedanta, the test that you're getting it is you will find all of life extremely smooth, extremely comfortable, extremely relaxed. You'll find all of life like that. If you are finding that life is not like that, and when you come to the Gita class, when you come to the Vedanta class, then you feel nice, then please know you are not studying Vedanta. Please know this. What you're doing, only you know. But it is not Vedanta that you're doing. Because if you were doing Vedanta, then life itself will get smoother and smoother and smoother. If life is not getting smoother, the onus is upon you to find out What is that aspect that I'm not getting here? That's why we have so many interactive things, so that we can go down to the root and find out. Feel free to get in touch. Even if you feel that there is some area which is not clear, feel free to get in touch and say that I need more explanation on this thing because it's just not working in my life. Okay, but we would be serious students of Vedanta only when our life works. If our life doesn't work, we are failing. So we have to find out what's going wrong here. Okay, I hope that much is clear. So when there is no light in our life, it manifests. Okay, this is very abstract, right? There's no light in our life. So what does it mean? It manifests as all these desires. All these desires that say, my life is not all right, but it will become all right when I do X and Y and Z. This is the biggest all-time bestseller fiction. It's just fiction. If I cannot understand how to be happy here and now, I'm not going to be happy. Happiness is not something I'm going to get because I have gone and got something. It doesn't work like that. When I am a happy person, I will enjoy everything I contact, including sorrow. It's not that I become a happy person and then I'm incapable of sorrow. No, I'm capable of every emotion that life has to offer me. I'm capable of a rich emotional life. But within me is a core that no matter sorrow or joy or pressure or whatever, there is something in me that is not touched. Padma patra ivam basa, like a lotus leaf in water. Through the rich emotional life, through the rich active life, through a rich intellectual life, there is something in me that is not touched. Not that I become like a statue, not that I become like a fake person, everything is good, everything is good. Not pretending my sorrows away, feeling my sorrows completely and thoroughly and dealing with them. That is why, if you remember, one of the qualities that he spoke about in the qualities of a spiritual person, if anyone remembers which quality, our Aditi is not here today, I think, but which quality?
Sthita prajna?
Arjavam.
Arjavam. Yes, correct, Deepa. Arjavam. Authentic to self. What they call uprightness. It's translated as uprightness. Authenticity to self is more modern usage. I am what I am, and I'm comfortable in who I am. But I have my flaws, I have my strengths, and I sit comfortably in my own skin. If I don't sit comfortably in my own skin, if I cannot be comfortable with the person I am, not I am so bad, I'm so stupid, I don't understand anything, I'm so idiotic, I'm so this, I'm so that, or I'm so great, I'm so fabulous, nobody's as good as me. Both ways. Both of them are nothing but, hello, put your feet back on the ground, please. Just authentic. Yes, I go through whatever I go through, and I'm dealing with whatever I go through. But when I live in ignorance, I get caught up in desires. These desires that tell me that I am not happy now, I'm not comfortable now, I'm not fine now, but I will be when this happens. This is madness, absolute madness. No, either happiness is for here and for now, right now. This is a moment I have to be comfortable. Tomorrow I could be dead. then what was the use of all this crying today? What was its use? Is there any point in this? If I'm not living my life happily, comfortably, productively, if I'm not a productive member of my society, if I am not contributing, if I am not somebody that people will miss when I die because I've done something, then why am I living at all? What is that lovely Kabira thing? जब तू आया जगत में जग हसे तू रोए जब तू आया जगत में जग हसे तू रोए ऐसी करनी कर चल जग रोए तू हसे. Meaning that uh, when you came into this world, the world was laughing and you were crying. All children are born and they are crying, right? So when you came into this world, everybody was laughing, your parents, and everybody was delighted. Grandparents, everybody was delighted that you came into this world. And then you were crying, boo hoo hoo. Aisi karni kar chale. Let us do such karni. Let us do such work in this world that when I go, the world will cry, but I will laugh. Means I'm satisfied with whatever I have done. That's right. I have done what I came here to do. Okay? So when there is ignorance, we generate desires. These desires falsely tell us that I will be happy only when this particular thing happens. This is called ignorance because I'm already happy here and now. Not because I'm faking it, but I am authentic to self. And even though I'm authentic to self, there is something in me that is unaffected with whatever my life offers me. The ups and downs go on. That's just life. But I am okay with myself and with whatever is going on. With a rich life of action, of contribution, a rich life of emotional interaction, a rich life of intellectual delights, and of course failures, because we sometimes try to study stuff, it doesn't go in. I've been studying Sanskrit for years and years and years. I still am struggling with it. So lots of ups and downs, different things going on and on. But there is an inner core that is not affected, no matter what. Okay, so who is, I hope that's all clear. So who will read the next paragraph? Anybody has anything to say? No, nothing, all good. So who is volunteering to read the next paragraph? Wait, where were we? Did we do? We did, right? That knowledge is relative.
We're on the paragraph, the ignorance of self generates endless desires.
Okay, all right. So who will read this paragraph?
Shall I read?
Please do. Please go ahead.
I can't see it. I don't have the book. I'm just waiting for
Yeah,
the text.
just give me a second. It's not coming up. Just a second. Is this visible?
Yeah, now it's visible. So, do I go on to paragraph 2, right?
What's the page in the new book?
First one.
The first one, first paragraph?
Yes.
Okay. Just 1 minute. Part of it is being coupled with something. I don't know what it is. Okay. The ignorance of self generates endless desires. The desires develop into several modifications like greed, lust, delusion, arrogance, envy, hatred, anger at the gross level, or into aim, ambition, aspiration at the subtler level. All these passions hold you a hostage to the world. You are thereafter bound in the terrestrial realm of desire and ambition. The way out of your bondage and consequent suffering is to dispel the darkness of ignorance. The knowledge of yourself provides the light of wisdom, which discharges your desires and worldly clingings. The light glows eternally within you. Light you are. You need not seek or pray for light. You gain the light through study, reflection, contemplation upon the truths of life laid down in Vedanta. Approach them freely, independently, with no bias. Let your intellect examine, analyze, and accept the truths on their own merit. The process of learning will gradually unveil the self within. The knowledge of self thus dispels ignorance, resurrects your divine being. So, do I need to just explain what I have understood?
Summarize.
Summarize, okay. So, ignorance is what creates our desires, and these desires result in greed and lust and delusion and arrogance, because when they are met, we become greedy. When they are not, we are disappointed. When someone else's desires are met, then we feel hatred or jealousy. So this is at the gross level of the body and the mind. Or into another way is that, we have lot of ambitions and aspirations at the subtler level, and if the desire is very strong, then we may resort to means which are not ethical or guided by the intellect. And all these passions bind us really to the mithya, to the world, to the delusion of the world, believing the world to be real. You are thereafter bound, okay, in the terrestrial realm. So the lower things keep us bound, our desire and ambition, and there is no place for the higher. And if we want to get out of this bondage and to dispel ignorance, then the way is to know ourselves. Because once we know the self, then we know that all of this is just temporary. It may give joy, but may also give us a lot of misery and sorrow and suffering. And the way that we need to do this is through reflection, through study, morning study, and contemplation, trying to understand the truths. Of course, listening to discourse through Shravan, Manan, and trying our best to apply it.
Sorry to interrupt you, Tinky. You're doing a summary. That means in one or two sentences, you have to tell us what this paragraph said. If you say everything, then we have no idea whether you got the point or not.
Okay, so it
just
says,
in one or two sentences, what does the paragraph say?
So it says ignorance causes desires and ambitions at the gross level, and to dispel them, you need to know yourself, for which you need to study and reflect.
Very good. That is a summary. Excellent. Yeah. So that's it. So when you reflect and study on the knowledge of Vedanta, these desires, what will happen? Tell me, anybody?
They dissolve. They dissolve.
They dissolve. You understand that it is not just the fulfillment of the desire that is going to give you the happiness. Why do you understand that it is not just the fulfillment of the desire that is going to give you happiness? Why do you understand this?
Because we have unending desires.
Okay.
Because that will generate another desire.
Yes.
Clarity will come.
Okay, correct. What else?
Knowledge.
That's right. But nobody's hit the nail on the head. You're like, not wrong, but what is it? Why is it that you lose this concept that when this desire gets fulfilled, I will be happy?
You have a
Because
higher
you're happy.
desire. You have a higher desire.
Because desires are rising, they are never fulfilled. One is replaced by.
Okay. Okay, you're right.
Because
Ashia,
I have
you're
to
right.
be busy right now.
Because?
I have to be happy in the right now, not by fulfilling of desires.
Oh, sorry, who is this? Omkar, please can I see everybody again? Yeah, who?
Alka.
Anuja, okay. Alka, okay. Yeah, so say that again, Alka.
No, I was saying that our desires cannot fulfill us because we will keep running from desires to desires. So we have to be happy in the right now.
Our original self is happy.
Okay, you're warming up, all of you. Anyone else?
There's a momentary full happiness when there's no desire.
Okay.
When we know that we are divine self itself, that itself gives us all the satisfaction, happiness, joy. So there is no more space for any desire to be happy.
Okay, but at the moment the desire is there. But I'm losing the concept that when this desire will be fulfilled, I will be happy. Why am I losing that concept?
Because
Lack
you're
of
happy now.
ignorance, Janki
Very
ji.
good, Bharat. Very, very good. What were you saying, Deepa?
Ignorance, I said.
Bharat, you have hit the nail on the head because you've understood or you have experienced. I don't like to
What did he say?
Please repeat, Bharat.
Because you're happy right now.
Because you're already happy. So yes, okay, the desires there. I'd like to have that thing. Okay, I'll have it. No problem. Nothing wrong in having whatever it is in the world you want. What's the problem with it? Get it. But you're losing that madness within that says, when I get it, I will be happy. No, you'll be happy. You can be happy right now. Don't have to wait for that. So when do you understand it? Because when you understand this, really understand it, because you're already happy. And you have this notion that अच्छा चलो अच्छा होगा घर पेंट करते हैं करो ना पेंट what is the problem अच्छा होगा चलो नया डाइनिंग टेबल लेते हैं लो ना नया क्या प्रॉब्लम है उसमें बट यू थिंक डाइनिंग टेबल आएगा तो फिर ये होगा वो होगा कुछ नहीं होने वाला जैसी अभी जिंदगी है वैसे ही होने वाली है just as life is now it will always be. Sarah Khan says, because once you realize the self, you are already complete. Sarah, as you go closer to the self, you already find the happiness. You're currently experiencing the happiness. So you lose the craving, the longing, the dying कि ये हो जाए, that this should happen. And only if that happens, I'm going to be happy. No, you can be fully happy even if that thing doesn't happen. And you can be fully miserable even if that thing does happen. There is no correlation between these two things. And you get the experience of that only as the mind just is currently enjoying its happiness, not waiting for anything to be happy. And you will currently enjoy this happiness if you do one thing in life. It takes just one thing to do in life for us to be happy here and now. And that one thing is, I hope you know the answer to that question.
Knowledge of the self.
You don't have access to knowledge of the self right now.
Tamaha sukheshu dukheshu.
Do the right action.
Very good, Deepa. Sangeeta, how to be sama sukheshu dukheshu, how to be sama in good and bad. That is the question. There is only one thing, as Deepa has so wisely told us. Please remember Deepa's wise words.
Not be attached to the result.
No, like all that is a consequence. Your happiness is dependent on only one thing in this world. No other thing will influence it. Right now, right now, at this moment.
When we get the
Listen to
knowledge,
Deepa. Huh?
when we get the knowledge that this world is transient and we do our obligatory duties, so
Forget knowledge that the world is transient. Only one thing. If you can choose and execute the right action. You can say anything in the world and have any knowledge in the world, and you can quote and misquote any scripture. But at the end of the day, whether you will put your head on the pillow and go to sleep at night, whether you will experience the full joy and contentment that your personality is currently capable of enjoying depends on only whether in the course of the day you chose and executed the right action. You did what was needed to be done. Okay, so Seema says morning studies. The point of morning studies always, Seema, is you're right. Morning studies is how you will choose the right action, how you will execute the right action. But at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is, did you do that right action? Because effect is based on cause, and cause is action. Not all your thoughts, not all your studies, not all your reflection, not anything. What effect you get is based on what you did. What you did. Don't ever move from that point. All your knowledge is meant for only one purpose, and the purpose of knowledge is
Right action.
right action. Very good, Bharat. Right action. Did you do that? That is the only point. Now, how do you do that? How do you choose it? You better study. But if you study and you don't do right action, don't blame the studies, buddy. It ain't the studies. After your study, what did you do? You went dreaming in the world. Oh, now I've studied in the morning. I have attained punya and God will take care of me. So, fir bhukto. Did you execute the right action? You can go to the gym and listen to the instructor telling you so many things about how to build your muscles. You can do that. He'll give you so many instructions on how to get health. But whether you get health or not is based on one thing and one thing alone, which is
Execution of exercise. Yourself.
I know all the benefits of going for a walk. I know the perfect way of going for a walk. I understand every benefit. But arey bhaiya, did you go for a walk? That is the question. So, did you choose and execute the right action will determine what you are going through. Now, only one person in the world knows whether you did it. You know, and God knows. You can fool yourself, but God still knows. So if you don't get it right, God ain't coming and telling you nothing. You better get it right yourself. He's not tapping you on the shoulder and saying, Buster, you're getting this one wrong. Sort yourself out. He's not telling you that. He is patiently watching. He'll say nothing. Get it right or get it wrong. But either way, you get the result. Either you put your head on the pillow and sleep, or you don't. So get it right or get it wrong. You have a lot of ways of getting it right, a lot of knowledge, a lot of information. But get it right. Or that's that. God in this context is the Atman within. Yes, God in every context is the Atman within. And yeah, Nandini, you're right. Just do what you ought to do. That is correct. But you see, you may ask me, why did I say just do what you ought to do? Because we've got so used to that saying, do what you ought to do. And what do I ought to do? I'm a housewife, so I must do my cooking. Arey, pagalpanti, please mat karo zindagi mein. You don't get obligations because you're a housewife. You chose to be a housewife, therefore you got that obligation. You chose to have children, therefore you got that obligation. So Nandini, the thing is that some people get carried away with this obligation, ought to do, and they don't understand the base, which is I have to choose what according to me is the right action, and I am responsible for making sure I do it. That's why I didn't use those words. Your words are absolutely correct, technically perfect, but I hope everybody understands what they really mean, which means I, as have the sole responsibility for my life, I will choose every action I perform, and I will get the consequence of what I perform. Now, I am emphasizing the I when I say this. If you emphasize the I while you're doing it, you will get the consequence of emphasizing the I. So be warned, you have to get it all right. Any part you get wrong, bhukto. Okay, so yes, Nandini, you're correct. As long as you understand the whole significance of those terms. Okay, so this paragraph clear to everybody? How are we doing? This paragraph is clear. Akhila, can you explain the part aim, ambition, aspiration at the subtler level? A very good question, Akhila. Means you're paying attention to what is going on. A very important thing for us to understand here. The desires develop into several modifications. Okay, so we've already studied. Is anybody new in this class today who has not studied how ignorance of the self leads to desires? Is there anybody new in today's class who does not know this? Because we did this in the last chapter. Anybody is not clear about this? Omkar, please let me see. No, you're so diligent in bringing that up here. I can't see what's going on. Vaishali, I am new. Okay, Vaishali. Anyone else? Vaishali, where are you? I can't see you. Anyone else is not clear of this concept of how ignorance of the self brings desires?
Hemant also. Thank you.
Hemant? Where is Hemant? Is he there? Oh, okay. Here's Hemant. Okay. All right. So, Hemant, Vaishali, and for everybody. Okay. Does everybody know? Why am I answering? All the rest of you, how many people are we today? Let me see. We are 63. That means 60 people or 61 people know the answer. So, can any from the 60, because one is not answering, can anyone from the 60 explain the concept? If you don't ask me a question, I don't hold the right to ask you one.
Janki, I will
Go
attempt.
ahead, Reshma.
So first is I am the self. Second is I don't know that I am the self. Therefore, I am ignorant, and I feel that there is a lacuna within me. To fill this lacuna, my thoughts go towards the world, and I feel that if I get something, that lacuna will be filled and I will be satisfied. This leads to the creation of that desire. This desire, when met or not met, will lead to creation of various emotions. Like if it is met, it can create greed for more. If it is not met, it can create towards people who have those what I want. I will have emotions like jealousy, anger, etc. And towards people who don't have, I will be arrogant. and that is what will lead to my misery.
Okay, very good, Reshma. Vaishali, Hemant, I hope you're okay. Are you all okay? Do you have any question on this? Okay, Vaishali is okay. Hemant, you okay?
He said yes.
Okay. Are you seeing the messages earlier than me, Bharat? How come I'm taking, so why is it taking it longer for it to come here? Okay, so anyway, what were we saying? Okay, so what were we saying? We are the self. We do not know this. So not knowing this makes us feel empty. And when we feel empty, our thoughts go to the world to get something to fill it. This is known as desires, not the cause, Reshma. This is known as desires. That I want this, and when I get this, I'm going to be happy. So if something interrupts me from getting it, I will get very angry. How dare you not let me get this? I get very angry. But if it does get fulfilled, then I get greedy. For those who have more than me in that thing, I'm very jealous. उनके पास है, तुम बड़े लोग हैं. Jealous. For those who have less than me, I am very arrogant about it. वो हमारे लेवल के लोग नहीं है ना. They're not our standard people. And arrogant towards others. All these are strong emotions. They cloud us. They agitate us. Okay, so that's how our ignorance of the self leads to these desires. Now, Akhila has understood this, so she's asking the next part. Okay, understand how desires are agitating us, but what about how did he put aim, ambition, aspiration? Because so far we've always said nice things about aim, ambition, and aspiration, and now suddenly he's put a spanner in the things. We've always spoken about having a goal, right? So what is this thing now? Suddenly he's saying that also is bad. That is bad means remember that he's talking now from the level of the self. So the worst thing you can do is get carried away by desires, because then you just simply messed it up. To improve that situation, the achievers of this world set themselves a goal, an aim, an ambition. I want to be CEO of my company. I want to win Wimbledon. I want to have turnover of a certain amount. I want to have 1,000 crore turnover. They set themselves aims, goals, ambitions, and they work for it. They really work for it. And therefore, they achieve those things because it's an aim, it's a goal. Unlike the guys with the desires who just generally mess their life up. They neither get it nor they enjoy it, and they get a heart attack and they die. Okay? So these other category of people, better than the first category, are those who put it up as a goal, an aim, an ambition, and strive for it. These are the achievers of life. Unfortunately, when you function like this in the world, you no doubt will get whatever you want because you worked for it. But along with it will also come huge mental agitation, which they will call stress, strain, pressure, heart attack, blood pressure, blood sugar, and all these other things. Okay, so that's what will come out of it. So now if all these bad things are going to come out of it, why are we saying good things about it? Because it's anyway better than the guys who are desired in. So having a goal is better, but having a goal is restricted. And the reason that goal is restricted is because that goal is a goal and not an fill in the blanks and not an
Ideal. Higher ideal.
Not desire.
Not a ideal. Desire is the lowest level. Higher than that level is goal. Okay, but goal will also have this. All these high achievers in life, look at what's happening to them. They're all going crazy. Crazy in the sense they have all sorts of issues. Their families don't work, their health doesn't work, they can't sleep. They pay people to find peace. So you have to go to a spa to find peace. But at home, why can't you be peaceful? Why do you have to go to a spa to be peaceful? Now, when we say that, they say, "Oh, you're against spas." No, we're not against spas. Please go to a spa. What's wrong with going to a spa? But why are you not peaceful at home? Why not peaceful in office? So excellent, Deepa. Deepa, you're doing very well. Anybody who takes to karma suddenly starts answering questions right, left, and center.
I'm hardly doing any karma, Janki ji.
Yes, anyone who does karma always feels that way too. Correct.
Thank you.
So when you lowest level is desire, higher level is goal, still doesn't solve our problem. So we have to go to the next level, which is an ideal. The definition of an ideal is what? What's the definition of an ideal? Come on, quick. We are past 11:30.
Higher purpose.
Higher purpose. So it's not only a goal, but it is a goal which is unselfish. So Akhila, when he's saying aim, ambition, aspiration, please notice these words. They don't have the word ideal in it. But ideal also is incomplete because that also can agitate you. So higher than an ideal is
Self.
Self desire.
Correct. Very good. Is the self. So if you go for knowledge of the self, you have covered all your issues. If you go for any step, you're covering some issues as you go on. Okay, is that all right, Akhila?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, so that's it for today. We'll meet again next time. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you,
Thank
Janki.
you.